Welcome
Okay.
back, everyone, to Nopes and Opes. I'm joined by my lovely co-host Hylan,
Yep.
and today that was a weird intro. Today, we are going to be going over an email we recently got sent into the podcast, and I'm excited to hear Hylan's reaction because how the emails usually work is I get them, I read them, and then I deem whether or not Hylan should see them.
To protect my delicate, fragile sensibilities.
Yes. So it's kind of a long one. Would you like me to just read it off, or should I pull it up on the TV?
Let's just read it.
Just read it.
Yeah, I'll
All
just listen to it.
I shall read it.
Okay.
Okay, and then this email was sent in. Should I say the name? Or we can always bleep it out if they don't want their name to be shared.
You can just say Jenny.
Okay. A friend of Hyland's named Jenny. So this is what it says. Hi, Hyland and Rowan. Wow. I finally started listening to your podcast. I listened to 9 episodes over the past 2 days at work.
Whoa.
I found myself frantically taking notes, nodding my head in agreement, and sneaking over to a desk that had Kleenex as my eyes welled up with tears.
Oh.
You both got me.
Oh, no. I
Hyland,
guess that's good.
Hyland, I'm sure you will feel awkward with what I will say just based on learning more about you.
Oh,
but
no.
please try not to.
Am I going to need tissues?
There are so many things I could unpack in each of these episodes. I could write a novel, but I'll spare you. Maybe one day you'll bring in guests and I can do the hard thing and share some of my thoughts and things I've been through. My friends are always telling me to write a book. Alas, maybe one day. Hyland, I never really knew you in high school. All I knew was you were popular, therefore your life was perfect. I was the cheerleader, always having a smile on my face, and I'm sure others outside my circle thought I had a perfect life. Little did they know I was battling a severe drinking problem that I started when I was 13.
Whoa.
I finally asked for help midway through senior year. I too wondered how my parents survived me and feel blessed every day to have them in my life. Rowan, I'm almost 50 and I still don't know what I want to be when I grow up. Everyone tells me that. I'm very concerned. I have had 40 plus jobs. You read that right. I too wanted to be an actor in 7th grade. I walked into our auditorium for the first drama meeting, saw a bunch of popular kids and left, dream shattered, even if only to be in high school plays.
Oh.
If only I knew then what I know now.
Yeah.
The episode where you discussed suicide, Hyland, I had the exact same thoughts around Anthony Bourdain and shortly after Chris C. Chester, Bennington, Kate Spade, and my forever laughing and smiling uncle. I have known too many personally who have left too soon. I have also thought about exiting life, as you put it, as I have struggled with anxiety, depression, and what I am here for many reasons. I also think of how it would devastate my family, and thankfully I have never chosen that option. I'm looking through my notes, and man, I could just keep writing. Just know this, your podcast is worth it, and you two are making a difference. Your podcast is real and human and raw. Thank you for being exactly who you are. Oh, and Hyland, I never had kids and just got married. There is no timeline, and normal is relative. It's all perception. With deep respect, Jen Zemlock Tallman.
Wow. Wow. Whoa. That yeah, that's no, the emails that we have received have always
Shocked us.
taken me back a little bit. Like yeah, like honestly with the video component, it like I'm trying much more desperately to try and hold things together because I do not want to be like on camera kind of losing it, but yeah. Yeah. I mean, there's a lot there. Like, I think, oh man.
If you need to take a second, take a second. I can chat.
Yeah,
I can talk.
I'll say one thing. I really, like this email confirmed one thing for me. And I think one of the most valuable aspects of this type of a conversation between somebody that's a little bit older and somebody that's a little bit younger, and hopefully reaching out to people maybe even a little bit younger than yourself, right? At some point. But like taking, like when Jen mentioned like knowing what she knows now back then,
Yeah.
like it's impossible to put like all the time. And when I'm walking through the schools, I say, man, if I could just take what I have now and put it into your head, you would know that everything's going to be all right. But you can't, right? Like
Right.
as an older adult, I cannot physically put the information into your head. But like just having these conversations and having these different perspectives and having the chance to kind of say, hey, this is what I went through, this is how I handled it. And like people that are younger having the opportunity, like whether or not they listen and accept it, that's up to them. But just having the opportunity to like get this information and hear these stories is, I think, so valuable. And it's an opportunity that I'm really grateful for, and something that I didn't really realize that I appreciated as much as I do, or as that I'm as thankful for. Like I guess ultimately in the end, the reason why I'm doing this is just to maybe have the chance to say something that might help somebody at a younger point in their lives at a time when they need some help.
Yeah.
So, wow. It's so good, Jen. Thank you. Thank you.
Yeah. No, I could tell, and I'm sure people, if we do release this video, can see through Highland's expression. It's tough. I mean, it's really tough to hear these things, but it's also amazing because of just the impact that, and people are willing to be vulnerable and share these things in their life. Like, I don't think any of those struggles were easy to go through or are easy to even talk about. And I think a really cool thing about it is to see, for me personally, being of the younger generation, to hear and listen to people talk about the problems they went through at a younger age.
Yeah.
Because most people, when they talk to adults, I feel like they aren't sharing those stories. They're just trying to be like, hey, you got it. Like, just keep going. But to actually hear what goes through people's minds or like what they went through can really just help people of younger generation feel like, oh yeah, like everyone goes through this. Like it's
Well,
part of the human experience.
yeah. I mean, I can, I can tell you straight up, when I'm walking through the schools or in whatever position I'm in, I am absolutely 100% trying to create a false image. Like I want people to, not maybe false, but create an image that's not necessarily super reflective of everything that I am.
Yeah.
Right? I only want to show like the positives. I only want to show success and confidence and all of these things. And yeah, heck no, there's no way I'm going to show you, that I cry at certain commercials, or like, like I read certain books and
Yeah.
just fall apart, or, whatever it is. But, yeah, it's like, especially as adults, I think we get better and better, I guess, hopefully, which is kind of
Yeah.
weird because like when we talk about authenticity, that's kind of against that whole idea, but we get better at kind of hiding certain aspects of ourselves.
Do you think it's, well, I guess it is hiding. Well, it's just like those aspects, and as we've talked about before, like we had that one episode where we kind of talked about this analogy of like the structure, the foundation, these building blocks,
Mm,
and all these bad things that happen form that base,
yeah.
you know? And in Jenny's instance, there are a lot of things that I think, and she talked about being, very glad that she is here today and that she didn't take certain decisions. So I think it's cool just to hear people talk about them and kind of talk about them in a proud way, not necessarily as a victim, but as someone that survived.
Well, I think that's maybe key for me. Like it's really a matter of perspective, and I think everything in life is a matter of perspective. But like when you say bad things, like that's where I think you can really create a tremendous amount of change in your life. It's not necessarily bad or good. The things, like if you've moved past it, it just is.
Yeah.
Right? How you perceive it is up to you. Whether you want to look back at something that happened as, oh, that was traumatic, or that was bad, or that was negative, or, you know, that I got hurt by that action, or whatever it is, that's totally up to you, right? I don't look back on any of the situations that I've talked about in this podcast, or, you know, some of the things that have happened as necessarily bad or good, or like assign any sort of like kind of quantitative value to them. It's just they're just building blocks.
Yeah.
It's really in the end just kind of like a concrete block, and that's one block, that's another one, that's another one, and you just keep on putting them up and up and up, and sooner or later you have a foundation, and here we are.
Yeah. So it's just crazy. I mean, I think it is awesome to receive emails like that. Like I read it and I was like, okay, I'm excited to show Highland because it's got some depth to it, which I think is, I mean, it's astounding. And it's not something that we really expected. I don't think we are asking people to send us emails like this, but to get
Well, I think we ask them every time, don't we?
We ask them to send emails.
Yeah.
But we don't necessarily ask for this specific type of response. I think it's just more of a, hey, if there's anything you ever want to talk about. Most of the time, it's just people sharing. Well, I think it's really cool. Something that I've realized about myself and in life is I kind of invite people to share a lot of things. It's kind of like my superpower. I get people to open up.
Yeah, yeah.
And I like that. That's kind of a result of the podcast as well.
Well, I mean, I was joking a little bit, but I don't think I think it's a really, like, this type of email, or like when somebody comes to me and is willing to, like, I spoke a little bit about that one time that the student came in and just kind of broke down in my office, and allowed me to hug him, and those moments of being vulnerable and kind of exposing yourself and allowing, you know, because you don't know what people are going to do with this, right? And to be vulnerable is not fun. Like you're exposing yourself to a lot of things that could potentially be very, very bad.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just think it's a huge honor. It's something that's not taken for granted, and for me, it's really something that I feel very blessed and appreciative to have the opportunity to be a part of. Right? I think that's for me. I just think that's a gift and something really special, and just it's a really big. It's maybe possibly the best gift that you can ever give me, in a way.
Yeah, it's honestly hard for me to think of things to say because it's like such a cool experience, and just the idea that people are so willing to share about their life and be vulnerable with us is really cool as we try to be vulnerable with others.
Well, for me, I mean, like we've been talking a little bit, and I think we've shared it on the podcast as well, but like what it means to experience success and where we kind of want to go and where we want to get to. And I think it's like, in a way, society kind of dictates, hey, if it's successful, then it's X amount of views, and it's this and that and whatever. And this experience right here brings it back for me and puts me in the proper place of why I'm doing this and what I actually want, like what success is for me. Like I've always said in everything that I've done, like the reason that I wrote the book, the reason that I've agreed to do this podcast, the reason that I work in schools is if I can reach out and make a difference in one person's life, then that's success. And anything beyond that is just extra. And this right here just gives a confirmation, like, yeah, you made a difference. Somebody listened. Like the fact that Jen just she just binged
9 episodes in 2 days. When I heard that, I was like, that's awesome. Like
that's too funny. Like I can't, like Jen, I'm actually sorry. Like I feel like listening to us talk for 2 days, 9 episodes.
Yeah.
That's a lot, but I hope you're okay. But no, that's amazing. That's so cool. And just yeah, it's a huge honor, right?
Yeah.
What more can you say? I don't feel like I don't know. I just feel really blessed.
Yeah. No, me too. And I honestly, like, I'm at a loss for words on where to go because I think it's such a cool thing. And it's like, I can't thank people enough for sending out emails, for sharing, for being vulnerable, for listening to what we say, taking notes. I wonder what you're taking notes on. I'd be very interested
Yeah,
to see or hear what these notes are like. But
I would too. And I think just for um, myself, like the fact that like moving forward, I th- like the next few weeks, the next few months are going to be a little bit difficult,
oh yeah,
and there's some huge obstacles ahead of us, right?
yeah,
Like we don't know logistically how things are going to work out. We don't.
yeah. We've been
There's
kind of
some.
just cramming into podcasts. So for like we're running at the end of me staying in Minnesota. So we've
Yeah,
been recording a lot
yeah,
of things.
and we're just trying to figure out like how do we make this work.
Yeah.
But I think like I just put a post on like I write something on Facebook every Friday, and this today's post was basically Ron and I have made a commitment 100% that this podcast will continue. Whatever that means. It
Yeah.
might, like I said, some of the episodes might not have video because we've already recorded them or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just think for me, it just confirms like, hey, this is the reason why.
Well, it's having an impact. So someone's listening and it's doing something to them.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Hopefully,
obviously.
all positive things.
Oh, yeah.
But I won't even say that because as we talked about in the last episode, like part of taking responsibility is like it's gonna be hard. And my question is like with an email like this, in my mind, it's a way of taking responsibility. Would you deem it as such? Not that you need to email us to take responsibility, but I think to take responsibility, it is to be comfortable enough to actually talk about the things that you have gone through in your life. Doesn't mean you have to outwardly tell them to everyone, but
Well, I mean, you've really kind of introduced me to the idea of the blindfold and how important that concept is. And I think to be able to write an email like this is just a representation that, hey, the blindfold's off.
yeah,
I realize the reality of my life. I realize the choices that I've made.
yeah,
And I do accept them, the good, the bad, the ugly, the great, the awesome, all of it. And yeah, I mean, absolutely. I think that that's a huge part of like just being able to recognize the reality
hmm
is absolutely taking responsibility.
yeah.
1,000%.
And just to be able to have that acceptance. I mean, as we've talked about, responsibility is basically acceptance.
Yeah.
So
Like it's easy to accept the good things, right? Like, oh,
I
did
crushed it
awesome.
this week. I got a new job. Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's easy.
But like the troubling things, the embarrassing things, the 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 moments our dreams get crushed,
Yeah.
right? I mean, I remember like that the story that Jen said about wanting to be in a school play.
Mm-hmm.
Like as a kid, in high school, I remember like it seems so strange because I think I probably was part of the popular group, whatever that is. But I played sports and this and that and whatever. But oh man, that's going to bring up so many things. But I remember there was the drama kids,
Yeah.
right? And I, I just did not feel part of that group. And I was not brave enough to just walk on the stage and try it out. But yeah, that's something that I don't believe in regret, but that's something that I feel like I missed out on. Like I
Yeah.
wish, like if I had a chance to do it again, I might. I don't even know if I would do it, but I would definitely.
In a weird way, you're kind of doing that now. Like this is not. I mean, it's not theater, but like you're on camera, which you have told us you don't like being on camera, talking into a microphone to a possible audience, which has been confirmed by emails, but
Yeah.
it's
No,
right
this is
there.
this is a big step. This is for me. This is as maybe uncomfortable as being on a stage as a 16-year-old. I this is a huge step.
Yeah. Well, again, thank you so much to Jenny for sending in this email. I mean,
Yeah.
it means the world to us. It definitely really resonated with me.
Well, it just confirms that like we're doing a good job
Yep.
and we should continue doing a good job. And for me, it confirms a lot. Like these any emails from my high school career tends to take me back to a time that was a little bit rougher for sure,
Yep.
and just makes me really really appreciate the chances that I have now and the person that I become, and just a real sense of gratitude for all those who have been along that journey. Um, and the really cool thing for me, I guess, in this whole adventure is realizing how many people you have kind of touched and how many people have touched you throughout your whole lifetime, right? Like a
Yep.
lot of these people that I've reconnected with, I didn't know that I had any impact or that they even recognized me in any way.
Yep.
And it's just for me to realize that there's a lot of people in this world that you impact, but also there's a lot of people in this world that have an huge impact on you. And even though you may not always recognize it, and that has just been an awesome process. Like I feel really thankful for the opportunity to kind of experience that firsthand. I feel like that's something that not everybody always gets to experience and necessarily appreciate
Yep.
as much as I do now. So
Yeah. Well, with all that being said, I think this will be a shorter video. I think as we've gotten these emails, we want to continue to show support to the people that send them out to us. So I think we'll make videos always kind of thanking them and kind of sharing a few thoughts about it. But we don't want to extrapolate on the situations you've been through. That's not why we do this. That's not what we're here for. We just really want to show appreciation for the words and things that you shared. And yeah, anything to add to that?
just say thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Yeah.
It really means a lot.
Okay. Well, with all that being said, if you ever want to reach out to us and share your thoughts, the email is NopeOpePod@gmail.com. You can find us on YouTube, Spotify, and Facebook. Nopes and Opes on all three. The book is available in the podcast description on all of those sites. And yeah, we really appreciate it. Thank you to all the love and support, especially to you, Jenny. It was an amazing email, and we can't wait for the next one. So
It's a little bit too amazing. Almost got the better of me.
the bar keeps getting raised.
Oh,
So
jeez.
but it's awesome. So we'll see you guys in the next one.